Yeah, welcome. The topic we'll be discussing in this session is classical problems of synchronization. So basically we'll be discussing two problems, two classical problems of synchronization. The purpose of this particular problems is that why we are discussing this topic, why we are discussing the classical problems of synchronization. The need of this topic is that whenever a new solution to the critical section problem is introduced, whenever a new solution to the critical section problem is introduced, the correctness of the solution will be understood by applying to these problems. Okay. So whenever some researcher or some scientist or some engineer, when they propose a solution for the critical section problem, the correctness of that solution will be verified by applying on these problems. Okay. It is initially when a solution is proposed, it might look like a perfect solution. But you should test whether it really satisfies all the requirements or not. So that can be done by testing the solution on these problems. Okay. So actually there are three problems are there, but we'll be discussing only two problems. One problem I'll be giving as a self-study that I want you to study by yourself. Okay. So these three problems are, the first is a bounded buffer problem, and the next is a readers and writers problem, and the third one is a dining philosophers problem. So here we'll be discussing the first problem and the third problem. This will be discussing the bounded buffer problem and its solution using semaphore, and also we'll be discussing dining philosophers problem and its solution using semaphore. Okay, so this is the agenda of this topic, and I want you to uh, study by yourself readers and writers problem. So this is something like a self learning assignment, you can take it off. Fine. So let us start with bounded buffer problem. So bounded buffer problem in the sense, so it is basically uh, the it is here basically we'll be discussing the producer consumer problem which we discussed at the beginning of this particular topic. So so in the producer consumer problem, what happens in the sense, one process will act as a producer. One process, say we call it as P1. This P1 will act as a producer. Okay, I'll call it as PR. Okay. It keeps on produces something. Okay, and another process P2, this process will act as a consumer. This process P2, this will act as a consumer. That is, whatever the process P1 produces, this particular process P2 will consume. And there will be a queue, and there will be a queue or a buffer. Okay, this buffer which is basically a queue of memory location. Okay, so there will be a buffer with certain limited capacity, and this buffer will be shared by both the process. So this is basically a shared buffer. This is a shared buffer which is shared between both the process P1 and P2, or producer and the consumer. Okay. So let us assume this buffer size is, for simplicity's sake, let us assume the buffer size is 3. That is, the buffer can hold 3 items. So producer will check whether is there any space in the buffer to keep some entity or not. Yes, there is a space. So it will produce one item and it will keep it here. Okay. So let us call it as item 1. Okay. Then what happens? Then again, say if it wants to produce another item, then it checks, is there empty space? Yes, still there are 2 empty spaces. Then it will keep another item here, item 2. Okay. Meanwhile, consumer may check, is there anything in the buffer to consume? Yes, there are 2 items in the buffer to consume. So whatever the first item, it will take and consume. So it means that this location has now become empty. It means that this location has now become empty. Okay. So again, producer checks whether there is any free space. Yes, there is a free space. So it may produce another item here. Okay. And again, the producer checks is there any other free space. Yes. So it may produce another item here. Now the producer checks is there any space in the buffer? No, no space. So producer will wait. Okay. So here the thing is producer should wait if the buffer is full. Producer should wait when the buffer is full. Okay. Similarly, consumer checks is anything is there. Yes, I3. So it consumes I3 first. Then it checks is there anything is there. I2. Yes, it consumes I2. Then it checks if anything is there. Yes, there is an item 4. It consumes that. Now again say consumer checks is anything is there in the buffer. Nothing is there in the buffer. So buffer is empty. Buffer is all the locations are now empty. There is nothing to consume. So if there is nothing to consume, in that case, the consumer should wait. So when nothing to consume, when there is nothing to consume, the consumer should wait. Okay. If the buffer is empty, the consumer should wait. If the buffer is full, the producer should wait. So now the buffer is empty. So producer can produce an item and he can keep here. Okay. So like this, it continues. Okay. So this is the bounded buffer problem. So this is a bound. Why we call it as a bounded buffer? Because the size is limited. So we call it as a bound. There is a bound on the size. There is a upper bound on the size of the buffer. It is not an unlimited buffer. The buffer can hold maximum only a certain amount of items. So this problem is called as a bounded buffer problem. Okay. So here the process when the buffer is full, producer should not produce any item and add it to the buffer. If it does that, then the item will be wasted. Okay. Similarly, consumer should not consume anything from the buffer when the buffer is uh, when the buffer is empty. Okay. And also another thing, this buffer is a shared resource. So if producer is producing an item, at that time consumer should not consume. So so this is buffer is a shared item or it is a shared resource. So it means what? This is a critical section. This buffer is a shared resource. So it means what? It is a critical section. So only one process can use this critical section at a time. If producer is using this critical section, then consumer should wait. Similarly, if consumer is using the critical section, then producer should wait. Okay. So these things should be ensured. Okay. The first is if producer is using the critical section, that is if the producer is using the buffer, shared buffer, then the consumer should wait. Similarly, if consumer is using the shared buffer, then the producer should wait. And producer can use the shared buffer only if there are some space in the buffer. And consumer can use the shared buffer only if the buffer is not empty. Okay, at least one item should be there in the buffer for the consumer to consume. The producer to produce, at least there should be one empty space in the buffer. Okay, so this is the requirement, or this is how the problem is defined. Okay, so this problem uses 4 variables. Okay, what are the 4 variables? N represents the size of the buffer. Okay, so n represents the size of the buffer. Okay, so this entire thing is the so n represents the size of the buffer. So this buffer can hold 3 items. Similarly, n may be 50 or 100 or whatever it may be. Okay, and there is a variable mutex of type semaphore. Okay, so previously we discussed mutex is a lock. Okay, mutex is a software based lock, but here we are discussing mutex as a variable of type semaphore, and it is initialized to 1. Why it is initialized to 1? Because we have only one shared resource. Okay, so basically mutex will be initialized with the number of shared resource you have. Okay, if you have two buffers, if you have two buffers each of size n, then the mutex might be initialized with 2, but we have only one buffer, we have only one shared buffer. And if this shared buffer is used by the producer, then it should not be used by the consumer, and if it is being used by the consumer, it should not be used by the producer. So semaphore variable mutex is initialized with 1. This 1 represents how many buffers you have. We have only one buffer, so it is initialized with 1. Okay. Then there is a semaphore value full, which is initialized to 0. Semaphore variable full, which is initialized to 0, because initially the buffer will be empty. Obviously, initially the buffer will be empty. Empty means what? Empty means what? Empty means what? In another term, what we can say empty? Empty means there is no locations or filled. Okay, no locations are filled. So full is 0. Nothing is filled. Nothing is filled. So full is 0. Okay, and there is another semaphore empty, and there is another semaphore empty which is initialized to n, which means that all locations are empty. Which means that all locations are empty. Okay, so these are the variables it uses. N represents the size of the buffer, and mutex, it represents the number of buffer, and full represents how many locations are full. Initially nothing is full, so it is 0. Empty represents how many locations are empty. Initially all locations are empty, so it is n. Okay, so now the solution for this problem can be given using semaphores by using this logic. So this is the logic that will be used in the producer side. Okay, so the producer process will use this logic. What it does inside a do while loop, it is producing an item. It first produces an item. After producing, what it should do, it should keep it in the buffer. It should keep it in the buffer. But before keeping it in the buffer, keeping it in the buffer, it cannot just like that keep it in the buffer, because buffer is a critical section, because it is a shared resource. So before using the critical section, it should check whether other process, the consumer, is using the critical section or some other process is using the critical section or not. Okay, so what it does is, not only that, it should check two things. So before producing and keeping an item in the buffer, it should check two things. One is there at least one free space in the buffer to place the item or not? That one thing it should check. And the second thing it should check is somebody else is not using the buffer or not. Okay. So only if both the conditions are not satisfied, then only the producer can place the item in the buffer. The first condition is at least one empty space should be there. The second condition is somebody else should not be accessing the buffer at the same time. So what it does in the sense, it calls two. So basically, semaphore uses two signals, wait and two operations, wait and signal. Okay, so it performs a wait operation on empty. It performs a wait operation on empty. Okay, if empty is 0, if empty is 0, then this will keep on wait. It will keep on check until empty is not equal to 0. If empty is 0, then what does it mean? It means that there is no locations in the buffer to place the item. Okay, so here you can see initially empty is n. Why empty is n? Because all locations are empty. The buffer fully it is empty. But empty is 0 means what? If empty is 0 means, what does it mean? It means that there is no empty locations. It means buffer is full. Okay. So the wait, the producer calls a wait operation on empty. So if empty is 0, this operation will keep on wait, and it will perform a spin lock, and it will be keep on checking whether empty is becoming 1 or not. Okay, or empty is becoming greater than 0 or not. Whenever empty becomes greater than 0, then it will come to the next condition. Okay, because if empty is greater than 0, then it means that there is at least one location or at least some locations which are empty, and the producer can keep that item there. Okay, if it is 0, that it cannot keep anything. Okay, so it just spins if empty is 0. If empty is greater than 0, then it will come to the next statement. So next statement is what? Next again again the producer calls the wait operation on mutex. The wait operation on mutex. Okay. So mutex is basically a lock. Mutex is basically lock. So lock, if it is 1, it means, so if mutex value is 1, it means somebody else is already in the critical section. That is, somebody else is already using the buffer. So it means that then producer cannot use the buffer right now. So if mutex is 1, then again it will keep on wait until it becomes 0. The moment it becomes 0, then it will enter the critical section. This is the critical section of producer. Okay. So before entering the critical section, it ensures these two conditions are satisfied. That is, empty is greater than 0 and the nobody else is in the critical section by performing a wait on mutex. Okay, then it enters the critical section. So in the critical section, what it does, it adds the next produced item to the buffer. Already it produced an item. Now it adds that item to the buffer. Okay. So, so but before adding the item, what it will do? But before adding the item, it will what see initially it checks whether mutex is 1 or not. As long as it is 1, it keeps waiting. The moment it becomes 0, it enters. But immediately after coming in, first what it will do in the sense, it will make mutex equal to 1. It will make mutex equal to 1 because now this producer is in the critical section. Now producer is in the critical section. Okay, so it should make mutex to 1. Okay, so 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 why I am saying this in the sense, because after completing the critical section, immediately what the producer is doing in the sense, producer is signaling mutex. Producer is performing a signal operation on mutex. When it performs a signal operation on mutex, then mutex will become 0 because now this process is coming out of the critical section. So it means that if somebody else want to enter the critical section, they can enter, or if consumer wants to enter the critical section and access the shared resource buffer, it can access. Okay, and then it performs a signal operation on full. Full means full may not be n, but full will be, at least full will be greater than 0 because producer has now added one item. So at least there is one item, at least there is one item to consume. So producer is calling, producer is performing signal operation on full. Okay, so this is the code for producer, which ensures that the critical section or the shared buffer can be accessed uh, with synchronization and without any problems like race condition. Okay, so this is the code for producer. Similarly, let us see the code for the consumer. Okay, so here you can see consumer code. So the quite similar, but consumer first it is performing a wait operation on full, a wait operation on full. So initially, if you see, initially if you see, full is 0, full is equal to 0, which means which means nothing is filled, all are empty. Okay, so if all are empty, then consumer cannot consume anything, there is nothing to consume. So this, so consumer first performs a wait operation on full. So the consumer will keep on wait until full is equal to 0. If full becomes greater than 0, then it will enter to the next stage. Okay, then it performs a wait on mutex. So mutex is a lock. If lock is 1, then it will keep on wait because somebody else is in the critical section. Maybe producer is in the critical section, so it will wait. And the moment the mutex, the lock becomes 0, then the consumer will enter the critical section. Once consumer enters critical section, again mutex lock will become 1. Okay, then consumer will consume one item from the buffer by removing an item from the buffer. It will remove one item and then it will consume. So this is the critical section of the consumer. Now consumer's job is over. So immediately it has to come out. So first it signals mutex. That is, it makes the lock to 0, which means now the critical section is free. If producer want to enter the critical section, the producer can enter. That is the meaning. Okay, and also it performs a signal operation on empty because it is consuming one item. It is consuming one item. So whatever the previous empty value, whatever the previous uh, empty value, that will be now incremented by 1. Okay, that will be now incremented by 1. Say initially, your say if n is equal to 5, if n is equal to 3, then initially empty will be 3, which means all three locations are empty. Okay, all three locations are empty. Say producer is adding one item. After producer had added one item, then empty will become 2. Then empty will become 2, which means two locations are empty, and one is free. Okay, now if consumer consumed that, then empty will again become 3. Okay, so that it is performing a signal operation on empty. Okay, so then it comes out, right? So this is the code for consumer. So this code basically it ensures that both producer and consumer can access the critical section without any issues like race condition, right? So this is about the bounded buffer problem, right? In the next session, let us discuss about dining philosopher's problem. Yeah.